Hey everybody, John Skiba here with the Arizona Consumer Law Group. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about how your creditors should be reporting your credit accounts to the various credit reporting agencies if you've requested an accommodation due to the coronavirus COVID-19. Now, recently, you likely heard in the news, they've recently passed the CARES Act, which stands for the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, which covers a lot of different things. It covers the payments that are going to be sent out to the nation, as well as it's changed some of the laws as it relates to credit reporting. Because one of the questions I'm receiving from a lot of people who are calling my office is, hey, I'm doing what you're saying. I'm reaching out to my creditors. They're working with me. I'm seeing that with a lot of car lenders, home lenders, even credit card companies that are willing to defer your payments for a period of time. But people are concerned about what their credit's going to look like if they agree to this accommodation. And luckily, it actually deals with this in the CARES Act. There's a section 4021 of the Act, and it actually amends the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is the FCRA. So what it states is that if one of your creditors, if you reach out to them and say, look, I'm lost my job or I have reduced hours, or any reason related to COVID-19, that there's something going on that you can't make your payment. If you reach out to your creditors and they offer some type of accommodation, specifically the Act states if they agree to defer a payment, allow you to make partial payments, or even forbear any delinquent amounts, modify the loan, whatever it is that they do, that they make some type of accommodation, then they are required to report to the credit reporting agencies, Transunion, Equifax, Experian. They've got to report that the loan is current. Even if the accommodation means that you're not making a payment, they've got to continue to report that loan as current so that you don't get hit on your credit score and have it reduced because they made this accommodation. Now, there's a catch to this. There's actually a couple of catches to this. If you're behind on your payments already, let's say that it's a credit card, it's been delinquent for 4 or 5 months. If they make an accommodation and they agree not to continue to charge interest or just generally stop collections on it, the law allows them to continue to report the account as delinquent to the credit reporting agencies. So essentially, they're just having to report what's accurate, that it was delinquent before all of this happened. And now, even though they're not requiring you to collect, they're still going to report it as delinquent. Now, it's important to note that the time period that this is covered, it starts January 31st of 2020, and it's going to go out 120 days from when the law was enacted, which was just last week at the end of March, or it could even go as far as long as there's a national emergency that's still declared relating to the coronavirus COVID-19. So just to kind of boil that down, if you're current on your payments now and you reach out to the creditor and they agree to make some type of accommodation where you're not having to make a payment, they are required to report you as current on your loan. They can't go and say, you're 30 days late, 60 days late. They can't do any of that. However, if you were behind, if you're delinquent on the account before January 31st, 2020, if you were already behind, then the law allows them to continue to report the account delinquent going forward. Now, one little exception to all of this is if the account was already charged off, then none of this applies. And so charge off happens 180 days after the last payment is made. So for instance, if you have a credit card, you stop paying on it, you're going to start dealing with collections. 180 days later, if you still haven't paid that, then at that point they're going to charge that off, and these provisions don't apply. So they could still report it as charged off. They could still continue to do collections on it. So and it's important to know none of this stops the creditors from actually trying to collect on the debt. It just states if they're going to help you out, if they're going to make some type of accommodation here, and you've already been on time on that payment, then they can't go and report you delinquent because they're helping you out with that. So I hope that helps you out with kind of making that decision of how you want to handle things if money's becoming tight. And I know it is for most people. All of a sudden, wages are cut, hours are cut, jobs lost completely. It's going to be tough to make some of those bills. My advice is still to reach out to your creditors. Especially now, reach out to them. No matter what the situation is, reach out and ask them if there's something that they can do to help you to delay things so that you don't end up with lawsuits and everything else that's involved with not making payments to your creditors. If you want to learn more about these types of topics, I have a bunch of other videos here on my YouTube channel, but as well over at my website at consumerwarrior.com. It's consumerwarrior.com. I have templates, videos, articles, a lot more videos, all that. Go over there and check that out. Thanks for watching.